Hidely-ho, and welcome to the World Builders Library. This is a milestone episode as we're looking to wrap up our early character development of the Ponderosa Posse. Can you name the first three? There was Phyllis the Fighter, Madge the Cleric, and Angela, our Wizard. I'm not rolling. We're going with an all-girl crew. Everyone meet Nellie, a Glamour Bard. My name is Lewis Nichols, and I've been DMing for a few years now. 40, I think. Seems like a lot. Nellie is an elf, so in Fantasyland, she's been doing her thing for even longer. She's 5th level, and she loves to do bard stuff. You know, tell tales, dance, entertain, and generally be glamorous. We're going to mix things up a bit, so let's start by talking about elves. The first thing you need to realize about this species is their longevity. Even if you are playing a young elf, you are playing a character that has been around for a while. I like to say a young elf, an adventuring age elf, is around the age of 50, but I think D&D wants that to be a little bit older, closer to 100. I would definitely ask my DM for a list of major events that my elf might have been adjacent to. Now this was pre-adventuring, you weren't the hero, usually you're going to be bragging about how fast you got away. Elves are medium humanoids with a movement of 30, and they're about the same height as humans. Your DM's probably going to let you be a little shorter, if that's your vision. But you're not human, so come on, you know what you get. Dark vision, 60 feet. There's a thing called Fey Ancestry, and that grants you advantage on saves to avoid the charmed condition. Keen Senses gives you a free skill, either Insight, Perception, or Survival. You can go into a trance instead of taking a full rest. It only takes 4 hours. Elves need to decide whether they're drow, wood, or just plain high. Elves by rule don't have alignment issues, but especially for the drow, I would consult the DM before making too many decisions. The main thing your choice of elven lineage gives you is which amazing spells you're going to have access to. Drow get Fairy Fire at 3rd and Darkness at 5th. Wood elves have Longstrider at 3rd, Pass Without Trace at 5th. High elves get Detect Magic at 3rd, and Misty Step at 5th. You get freebies with each of these, so you can Misty Step elf style, then burn a spell slot to Misty Step again. That's not all, by the way. They get cantrips from the start. Also, drow have 120-foot infravision, wood elves move faster, and high elves can choose their cantrip off of anything from the wizard's list. None of these pull me any particular direction for Nellie. So I think we're going to go with the one that I think is just flat out the best, and that's High Elf. Misty Step is absolutely amazing, and picking your cantrip just gives you that kind of flexibility. Alright, so what about a background? We need charisma. For the rest of it, we'll just see how it plays. And I don't want to go into the criminal underbelly type stuff. That's Angela's place. That still leaves Acolyte. Performer is a natural choice. Then there's Hermit. Don't know why Hermit gets charisma, but they do. We're not picking it. Merchant, Noble. Noble combines with Bard for hyper skilled. Acolyte leads to the Guidance cantrip. Very nice for Bards or any skill heavy type of support character. Partially because of the project, we're going to go with Noble. It helps legitimize the team's right to rule. By the way, this is part of a greater series. It's in the playlist. It is about economic gaming, and we are just detailing out the party that is running the town that we're developing. You don't have to watch those videos for this to make sense. If you just want to know about Glamour Bards, don't worry. After 10 minutes into the video, you are in the right place. So, Noble helps legitimize the team's right to rule. It also gives her 2 points of charisma and a point of intelligence. It gives us history and persuasion as our background skills. It gives us the skilled origin feat and proficiency in a gaming set. Woohoo. So we're going to fall back into our usual order of developing these characters. If you've seen any of the past videos, you know that we usually start with ability scores. This is the matrix from page 38 of the Players Handbook, 2024 edition. Strength of 8, Dex of 14, Con of 12, Intelligence of 13, Wisdom of 10, Charisma of 15. I'm good with this as is, no need to customize anything. Intelligence is going to go to a 14, And at 5th level, Charisma ends up at an 18. Charisma is a bard's primary attribute. They get D8s for hit points. They start with 3 skills and a note that says to check Chapter 1. Nobody else gets to go to Chapter 1. There's nothing really there. Maybe it's just that the bards don't have a narrowed list, so there's room to put that note. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Weapon proficiencies. They only get simple. They used to get more back in the 2014 rules. Bards get to choose 3 musical instruments. They can wear light armor effectively. Finally, they get to do the doodads and some money. Instruments and entertainers packs, probably the most important of that. We're starting at 5th level again, so all those basics are covered. First level bards get one of their biggest abilities right off the bat, Bardic Inspiration. For Nellie, that means that she can use a bonus action to grant a character a type of inspiration. With that, they can add a D8, D6 before level 5, to any failed D20 test. That's to hit, that's to save, that's score checks. Anything that you roll a D20 for, you can add a D8 to, as I said, D6 before level 5, and it gets higher at higher levels. The Bardic, it lasts for up to an hour and goes poof when used. Nellie gets a number equal to her Charisma bonus, which is 4 per long rest. Bards are full casters, so Nellie gets spells. Now, in my most recent character building episodes, I have heavily talked about the details of spellcasting. So let's just say bards are pretty good. They are, again, full casters and get a nice variety of spells. They get a lot of support stuff, charm effects, battlefield control, just generally a good variety of options. Bards choose new spells each level to add to their list, but this can never exceed the listed max, unless something is acquired from another source. In other words, a bard keeps a pretty static list of spells with slight tweaks possible between levels. For this reason, different bards might feel very different at different levels of play, depending upon spell choices. At 2nd level, bards get expertise, double pro bonus in 2 skills. This makes them very good at a couple of different things, again, depending upon the bard and personal choices. We will cover Nellie's skill choices in just a bit. Also at 2nd level, bards get Jack of all trades. This means any skill they are not proficient in, they still gain a small bonus. That bump is 1/2 of their pro bonus, hence +1 up to 10th level and +2 beyond. Skipping the subclass for now, what are we going to get at 4th level? I know you know. It's the ASI, which will, of course, be given to a feat that gives us Charisma. Fey Touched is nice, but I'm going with Telepathic. That's going to give you the ability to talk to people with your thoughts and gives you a casting of Detect Thoughts. Alright, what in the name of the Dark Lord Ozzy is a Glamour Bard? I can see a few different ways that I might want to play one, but the rules lean into charm and illusion. Flavor suggests they are Fey adjacent, but that's up to you, and the DM, of course. Word for word out of the Players Handbook, their performance stirs up wistful longings for the forgotten innocence, evoke unconscious memories of long-held fears, and tug the emotions of even the most hard-hearted listeners. Again, this is flavor. In practical terms, they get 2 third-level features, just like everybody else. The first is Beguiling Magic. Charm Person and Mirror Image go onto your Always Prepared list. But most importantly, when you cast an enchantment or illusion spell using a spell slot, you get to target another creature within 60 feet. If they fail a wisdom save, you can inflict either the charmed or frightened condition upon them for a full minute. Okay, a full minute's not exactly true because they do get saves at the end of each of their turns, but up to a minute. Alright. You can do this once per long rest or expend a Bardic Inspiration for another use. The second third level feature is the Mantle of Inspiration. As a bonus action, you can sing or play a little tune and expend a bardic dice. This tune grants temporary hit points to some of your friends equal to double the bardic dice roll. On receiving those hit points, they can immediately use a reaction to move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Whew! Basically, you can reset the battlefield by playing the first few seconds of Blondie's Atomic. Great song. So that's the big stuff. What do we end up with? For skills, we've got 3 for Bard, History and Persuasion for the background of Noble, and double expertise. Oh, and let's not forget, skilled origin feat. Let's go with Perception and Stealth. For the class skills, we're going straight down the class line. Performance, Deception, and Intimidation. Expertise, we're going to use on Performance and Persuasion. Nellie's go-to attack is Vicious Mockery, with an emphasis on fashion jokes. If she's got to hit somebody, she's got a sturdy hairbrush, a club, for her abundant 80s hair. All fun aside, she's going to use that mirror image, and she does have to take the fighter's flank on occasion. She does wear light armor and carries a spear, along with a short bow. For those aware of the grander series Nellie is a part of, I should throw out a certain synergy here. She travels with an illusionist wizard, so the team is definitely capable of battlefield misdirection. Expect a mash of overlaying illusion if you ever have to face off against this team of ladies. And bastions. Nellie is gonna pick up the theater. Definitely the theater. With a dance hall. Not an option. But I want. Gaming hall and theater are both 9th level. Can I have smaller versions and improve them later? Sorry, we're just getting into bastions, so let's stick to the rules. I cast DMs are immune to charm magic. Bluffing, we're not really. Oh, damn it. So, bastions aren't great right now for level 5 bards. However, we're part of a team, so we're going to use those slots to fill out what the Ponderosa party is going to need for Armitage. Among the first three members of the party, we have the Arcane Study, the Barracks, the Garden, Library, Sanctuary, and the Storehouse. With Nellie, we add Armory and Workshop, giving us 8 of the 9 5th level buildings. What's left out? The Smithy. We can assume those responsibilities, that economic niche, is filled in by an NPC somewhere in the town. I realize this isn't directly related to Nellie's character build, but remember, it's all an interaction. As a DM, you can decide what is allowed. You can allow a weaker theater if you want to. It's about cooperation. The rules are just a framework. Let's move on before I get any deeper in the weeds. Geographically, physically speaking, we're going to say that Nellie's bastion facilities, they're not attached to her house, to her bastion core, if you want to call it that. Instead, they are attached to Phyllis's storehouse and considered part of the town's industrial development zone. Over time, I might just let this synergize a bit. The NPCs will have to convince me. The armory is about making the bastion more defendable. If you're using the full bastion rule set, which we're not, it's going to help reduce your losses in the event of an attack. These are random events out of the book that you roll dice to determine how things happen. It's similar to our system. It's just different because we're more economic based. In our case, it's going to mesh with the economic development charts that you can see for the 4th or 5th or 6th time in other episodes of the series. Definitely not going into it any deeper here. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit deeper in what will be episode 8 of the main series. At 5th level, the workshop creates adventuring packs and gives you an inspiration if you spend a short rest there. This is just for the owner, of course. Now, even though Nellie wasn't really excited about taking this facility on, She's still a skill monkey, and I think would enjoy some time working with her hands, probably making some new sets of glamorous boots or establishing a line of adventure-ready, fashionable handbags. Remember when character building episodes used to be short? Stan the Warlock wasn't even 5 minutes. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the longer video. Do the stuff. Leave a comment, like, subscribe for more. The character building videos, well, they might take a break until Eberron comes out closer to the end of the year. But that can be changed by just a few comments. Be specific. What kind of build do you want to hear me create from scratch? In the meantime, I want you all to remember that you are important parts of this world. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're a part of the station. Have a great rest of the day. Cheers.